We all saw the bail hearing about 2 weeks ago where they wanted to raise Kyle Rittenhouse's bail by $250,000. And they also wanted to arrest him simply because he didn't leave a forwarding address. Now, the whole hearing was a total clown show. The only people that managed to come out of there unscathed, well, there were four. The very top row looked pretty good. Bruce Schroeder was excellent. He basically laid it down, kind of took out a lot of the emotional garbage out of the hearing. Mark Richards, pretty good. I mean, he stood there with a stone face and he laid it out. Kyle didn't have to do anything, and it's good. He just sat there. That's fine. And then, of course, ADA Jason Zaff didn't do anything either. He just kind of sat and watched. The rest of them, oh boy. Now, none worse than this attorney, Kimberly Motley. She's going to make a claim that's going to infuriate you if you have any sensibilities at all. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dredd to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dredd Show.
So let's hear what she has to say.
Your Honor, may I add something to that?
I'll go ahead.
You can tell the judge says, yeah, all right, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Your Honor. And joining in what the state said, 30 days ago, the court, not this court, but there's another Kenosha County case involving also a double homicide where a male of color was given a $2.5 million bond.
And, of course, Mark Richards is about ready to step in there. He knows what this case was about. So what's her claim? There's a male of color who's so been unfairly treated. He has a $2.5 million bond, and Kyle only has a $2 million bond. This is so unjust. What's the truth? Well, let's see. Who is she talking about? Well, I found out. The name, Joseph Medrano. And now you're going to get to hear what he did.
The state of Wisconsin versus Jesus V. Medrano III.
Kenosha prosecutors say 24-year-old Jesus Medrano took a machete to his father and stepmother Wednesday, killing them in a bloody massacre as they tried to stop him from sexually assaulting a younger relative.
Yes, this is the person that this attorney is going to water for. The male of color, the victim of the justice system. Let's hear a little bit more about what happened.
Got a body down here.
Jeffrey's had another one?
Two bodies down.
The gruesome aftermath heard over radio dispatch.
Bringing a child down to you guys who is covered in blood, but they do not think the child himself is hurt at all.
This is as violent, assaultive, and tragic a set of crimes that one can commit against their own family members that I think are almost imaginable.
Yeah, even Michael Gravely, the DA in Kenosha, the one that's prosecuting Kyle, even he says this was particularly nasty. The judge will say that this was a particularly gruesome series of events.
Kenosha County District Attorney Michael Gravely says Medrano confessed to investigators. As outlined in the criminal complaint, Medrano says he planned the assault and armed himself with the machete in case his parents, Latrice and Jesus Medrano Sr., tried to stop him. According to the criminal complaint, officers tracked fresh footprints in the snow to a cellar door, and inside, that's where they found Medrano holding that machete. He dropped the knife, then told officers, quote, "Just kill me."
I don't understand how he beat my daughter down through that house like that and did her like that. I don't hate him. I love him. I used to call him grandson.
The brutal killings have left a family shaken and broken.
My heart is broken. It can't get broken anymore.
By the way, he carried with him a sock to muffle the girl's screams when she tried to cry for help. He carried the machete with him in case his parents tried to stop him.
My daughter died in vain. And I feel so sorry for her kids.
She says 3 children were home during the attack.
I just miss my sister, and I wish she was here.
In Kenosha, Hillary Mintz, WISN 12 News.
Yeah. This is the person, the male of color, who's sitting in jail with a $2.5 million bond. It's so unfair. He wanted the police to kill him. He planned the sexual assault. He planned the murders. Oh, yeah, he's not a flight risk. Oh, yeah, he's not a danger to the community. Let's go ahead and read a little bit here. Okay, so bail hearing held for the defendant in a double homicide. Male of color, so unfairly treated by the Kenosha County justice system. 24-year-old Kenosha man allegedly killed his father and his stepmother after they interrupted his alleged sexual assault of a 15-year-old family member. So she was a minor. In court Thursday, bond for 24-year-old Jesus Medrano was set at $2.5 million by Court Commissioner Larry Keating, the same judge that set Kyle Rittenhouse's initial bond. The court's aware that these are allegations, but nonetheless, let's be candid, these allegations are nothing short of grisly. According to Kenosha County District Attorney Michael Gravely, Medrano, armed with a machete, entered the bedroom of the victim who was sleeping in a lower bunk and got on top of her. When she started screaming and struggling, Medrano purportedly started to strangle her. Attempted murder. The commotion woke a 10-year-old girl who had been sleeping in the upper bunk. So he's raping her with a 10-year-old girl in the bunk above her. And that's when Medrano's 45-year-old father and 35-year-old stepmother came running. Medrano allegedly used the machete to stab his father twice and his mother once. The 6-year-old daughter of the defendant, who'd also been living in the home, remained and witnessed much of what happened. His own 6-year-old daughter witnessed it. With machete still in hand, Medrano was arrested as he tried to flee to a nearby relative's home. Medrano urged police to shoot him. The father and stepmother both bled to death in their own home. Now, you compare Medrano with Kyle. Whatever the case of Kyle's 2 shootings, he didn't plan it. There's nothing in the criminal complaint, which is what they go by in a bail hearing. It doesn't matter what you think or heard about on the web. What they go by is what the criminal complaint states. And nothing in the criminal complaint states that Kyle planned anything. And Kyle got a $2 million bond. This dude just got $2.5 million, $500,000 more than Kyle. But look at the nastiness involved here. Kills his own parents. Rapes a relative that's a minor while a 10-year-old is in a bunk above her. His own 6-year-old gets to watch the whole thing happen. And this is the person that worthless lawyer was going to go to water for, was going to raise up as an example of how men of color are mistreated by the justice system. The judge, he knew where she was going with it. He shut that thing down. The judge is familiar with this case. So when she said, we have a male of color who is in jail with a $2.5 million bond hanging over him, he knew exactly where she was going. And he shut it down immediately. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.